Collective. So, I tried to go live, right? And it was a little murky. And here we are. Listen, y'all. This is a very important message. So much that somebody is so upset about the fact that they landed themselves in the South Node energy with the healer in the reverse. This person's upset because they realize that they need to heal, which is really good news because it gives you something to do. It gives you something to work on. Somebody's upset that they have to go and heal the South Node energy, the healer in the reverse, abuse. Yeah, this is crazy energy right here. And so here you are unbothered, okay? Your obsession by way of yourself, by way of your ascending energy, ascension process. You're obsessed with what it is that you're achieving, and somebody's obsessed with you being unbothered and you being obsessed with yourself and what your life has to offer. There are good obsessions. There really are. We need more good obsessions, and whatever this is, you're ascending to a certain level. Okay. We got the gift energy, something about you getting those spiritual gifts. This could also represent some type of monetary supplement for an achievement. Something has to be given to you. Courthouse energy, spiritual court energy. Yeah, that live was really interesting. For those of you that were there, you saw the energy was very peculiar. And so as I took a step back, I went outside and just kind of sun gazed a little bit and got back into alignment. I heard Spirit say, yeah, get yourself grounded. This is a very important reading. So here we are. We will be obedient, hear what we need to hear, and what we don't, we'll just block it out. We're deaf to the bullshit. Although we can see it, we might be blind to the bullshit too, though. If we choose to be, yeah, I can't make it up. You're listen. Whatever this is, abundance. I can't make this up. Unexpected money and abundance. This is spiritually, physically, financially. Something is coming in by way of an achievement because the universe feels like you've attained some level of amnesty. So much so that you don't have to deal with this. Whatever the South Node energy entails by way of somebody angry because they're being told by the universe that they need to go heal themselves and clear their own karma with third-party situation in the reverse, they've been exposed. They could have very well have been on the live that we just weren't able to get going. Clarify? Yeah, they're watching. As soon as the Divine Feminine went live, baby, somebody was on the live. Clarify that energy. South Node energy. What was that energy? Yeah, I'm telling you, somebody's in spiritual hell. Spiritual jail. What is the universe telling them? What is the verdict? What is the outcome? What is the judgment? The universe has decided that they need to be in this mental imprisonment. They need to stay out of your situation as being the third party sitch. The healer in the reverse and the South Node and abuse. Somebody needs to stop abusing themselves and they need to go and pray for healing or seek healing or at least set their sights on it or get a little bit more focused on that because the obsession about you being unbothered, but you being obsessed with your achievements and your abundance, divine feminine energy as you ascend, is not rendering any forms of satisfaction for this person in the South Node energy. When in South Node, do as the South Nodians, honey, and heal. Everybody's had to do it. You need to clear your karmic debt. Clarify, Holy Spirit. I'm telling you. Somebody says the party's not over. Well, the party never began. In South Node, it's no fun. It's dark. It's murky. It's ugly. It's only you. Oh, the devil. Yeah, that's you too. Listen. Endings in the reverse, how somebody believes that this is not over, how they believe that they can continue going on in this manner. Somebody's finding it difficult to keep up appearances. That's what I just heard. Showing up in this divine energy. Is that what they were trying to do with the South Node energy? Yeah, somebody's a whole flying monkey is what they are. Somebody's turning into what they are, which is a flying monkey. Yeah, some type of dark energy, some type of entity. Somebody is not of, I don't know what this is. Yeah, look, the universe is giving them a message. They don't like it. Somebody's getting some type of communication, correspondence from the universe. As spiritual court has made a decision, somebody's shocked about this message that they're being sent into spiritual jail in their South Node, and they're being guided and advised by the universe very emergently to go within and heal abuse. Somebody could have suffered some form of abuse and trauma, and then they became the abuser, the traumatizer. Yeah, it's like, nah, hurt people hurt people. No, we're not taking that. That's not valid. You can't walk the earth anymore doing that. It's just not going to be accepted. You could, but you're just going to end up in this imprisonment. That's crazy. Yeah. Chakras, we're in alignment. Somebody could be giving you the evil eye. The ancestors are there. Big shout out to the divine ancestors. I can't make it up. Listen, whoever this person is, they need to go have a seat. This person is in an imbalance. Their masculine and feminine energy is not winning. They're not twinning. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? So the universe is sending them a message, a warning, a very urgent 911. Pick up, this message belongs to you as energy. You need to figure out what you need to do and heal that. Back to the south node you go. And somebody doesn't like the fact that they're being told by the universe that there's still something that needs to be healed. Third party situation. Somebody's too busy trying to get in between you and your achievements that they've made it their business. They've dedicated their life. It is unfortunate because somebody rendered themselves an unjust occupation by way of trying to get in between your divine ascension. You are the divine feminine, the divine ancestors of light, known and known. Abundance. This is inheritance. This is bloodline inheritance, honey. Abundance in the ancestors with unexpected income. This could also be a spiritual gift. Coming to a nice guy, a sweetheart. Somebody's obsessed with the fact that you're unbothered. Somebody's obsessed with the fact that you keep achieving. Somebody's obsessed with the fact that you're obsessed with ascending. You got good obsessions. This person has very peculiar obsessions, and now they're in spiritual hell having to face whatever their perception of obsession is, divine feminine. I feel like somebody doesn't even know why they started with this obsession. Do they even know why? Flying monkeys. Yeah, because of your spiritual gift. So this is like somebody evil eyeing your gift. You know, it's a gift by having the ability to be able to move forward and forgive. That's a spiritual gift. By way of being able to clear your karma and not carrying any resentment with you, that's a spiritual gift. Being able to see things in the dream state, warning you about certain things, is a spiritual gift. But with that gift comes the gift of knowledge and knowing who you are. With the Ace of Swords energy, by way of the truth, this gift doesn't come overnight. And if it does, the person that receives it did the work. So yeah, okay. You can make a left and maybe it'll take you 30 years to figure this thing out. Or you can make a right and maybe it'll take you 30 seconds to figure this thing out. Whatever it is, collective, you've rerouted your entire thought process. So that means you're opening up new portals, new spiritual concepts. There is no indecisiveness where somebody is indecisive about being in this imprisonment. They don't like the way the universe is rendering this type of judgment. But the universe is fair. The universe is quite literal. Yeah, listen, this is what somebody's spending their time doing, even on their way to spiritual jail, or they could be in spiritual jail. Flying monkeys and false narrative. Baby, the gossip is gossiping, honey. It's piping hot, fresh off the press, and somebody's in spiritual hell. Imagine being there in a false narrative about what happened, a series of events. You a whole liar, flying monkeys ass energy, and you're in a self-imposed imprisonment. And within, you feel so off your kilter, so off your balance with feminine and masculine energy. And every time you look up at the person that you keep spreading this news about, this false narrative or whatever you believe is abusing this person, you look up and they have their gift. You look up and they're unbothered. You look up and they have a healthy obsession with their achievements and ascending, and they're coming out as a divine feminine. Just imagine that for a moment. And the ancestors of light, known and unknown, pop out and say, listen, this is an inheritance, honey. This is personal. This is bloodline business. After all of that, and the chakras are still in alignment, baby, you are still on your assignment. Whatever this false narrative is, the evil can't hold any weight. It didn't hold any weight. It didn't manifest. And now somebody's in this imprisonment trying to figure out how to balance out their masculine and feminine energy. My nose is itching. That is a sign of the truth in my experience. I've noticed that whenever the truth is coming out like that, that means I'm breathing correctly. And that means that the divine is using me as a vessel to speak the truth to those people that are willing to hear divinity. So mote it be. Yeah, that's what it is. Somebody better listen. Clarify false narratives. False narratives. What were you saying? Oh, jealousy and envy exposed. Okay. So somebody is rooted in a spirit of jealousy and envy, which are two very nasty energies. You know, they create so many different illusions. Somebody could have felt like what the universe was doing for you, that couldn't happen for them. And so they made it their business. They made you an assignment. Somebody chose evil over good, and they decided they were going to go on this journey and just stay in this imbalanced energy, in the South Node energy. But with jealousy and envy in the reverse, whoever they're spreading this false narrative to, people can now see that they are the third party situation, the jealous, envious third party situation that doesn't want something to be over with endings. So if endings is in the reverse, okay, in such that way, that means that somebody's going in a loop-de-loop. Somebody's going a little kookaloo. Somebody's a cuckoo bird, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, in a self-imposed imprisonment. It's because of the words that they spoke. Now they got to eat it. They have to eat crow. The flying monkeys have to eat crow. And somebody doesn't like that. Well, listen, in the Eight of Swords, nothing tastes good. Just a heads up. Nothing tastes good. Nothing to your liking. So the fact that you are a flying monkey in the Eight of Swords based on false narratives, being exposed or being jealous and envious, you are the third party situation, or you thought you were in a lot of people's ascensions and their achievements, and only to find out that you really are the healer in the reverse. In the South Node, South Node is a tough place to be, man. It's not for the weak. Somebody could do divination, okay? Or somebody's finding out by way of divination. Boss energy is giving empress energy. Could be a feminine as well. You're somebody that does whatever you need to do in order to ascend properly. You're in alignment with divinity. And this really does make you very attractive. You could be meeting a lot of people. People could want to talk to you. It is this Aquarius, Piscean energy that I'm feeling that we're in. And everybody is in this very loving energy. They want to communicate. The dream state is on fleek. So you got a couple of people that want to penetrate your dream. They want to dream for you. They want to find out what you're dreaming about, what's your next move, so that they can go somehow and try to stop it. This only keeps them in the South Node in a loop. Yeah, what they're getting is the illusion. They're getting the unconscious state, dense energy. They can't get your dream state. Look, I can't make it up, which is why they have so much animosity towards divinity. Like, you mad at the divine? Bitch, you need to find you something safe to do. Who's out here mad at the divine? You mad at the divine? I feel like somebody doesn't want to admit that outside of their own head. Yeah, say that shit out loud. You are angry with the divine. You are pissed off at the universe, who's very fair. It's a fragmented way of being. It's unfortunate to be fragmented in a self-imposed imprisonment that the universe put you in and told you you need to heal. Nobody's been exempt from the Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords. Why this person believes that they are any different than anybody else, they don't have to heal, and their masculine and feminine energies all over the place. Listen, why do they feel as though they're exempt from these spiritual laws? Why? When the divine is here. This is healthy divine intervention. Why does somebody believe that they're exempt from having to go through South Nodian healing energies, techniques, or whatever is required in that self-imposed imprisonment, which is really looking at yourself? Why do they feel exempt from that? Why? Somebody likes being unhealed? Okay, so if they like being unhealed, still spreading gossip and all this weird energy, that means that they like to see people suffer. Okay, so this explains the abuse card. But they don't want to suffer. They don't like it when they got to sit in their own shit and they're suffering from it. But they want somebody else to suffer. Yeah, spiritual court is now in session. The ancestors call down judgment. The ascended masters, what's legal? Somebody could have some actual legal issues or situations. Damn, somebody could be going to jail for real in the 3D. Child, yeah. Somebody's fighting in court, conflict. Again, this is a classic case of you need to watch your own shit. Somebody was too busy talking about you and their whole life is falling apart. Somebody got a court date. You didn't know you had a court date? Message, correspondence coming in the mail, legal documentation, and now you're fighting in court, conflict and legal. Somebody is crazy. But look, this is what they were doing all while they had their situation all in shambles. This is what they were doing about the collective. This is how they were talking about the divine, being a flying monkey, self-appointed flying monkey. Now you got to eat crow, gossiping about divinity. Are you serious? You were really trying to dirty up the creator's name, essence, all that. Okay. Man, that's a dangerous ass pursuit. A child could be significant. Somebody might have to go to, I just heard go to jail for a child. Okay, so somebody already knew that their life was in shambles. Somebody's very much aware that they're in the South Node, which is why they were a gossiping flying monkey who now has to eat crow. I feel like somebody felt like their shit is over, their life is done. They know that, so they felt like they were just going to try to destroy your life before they went to jail. Somebody could actually be going to jail in the 3D. They're already in spiritual prison because whatever they did in the spirit by way of spoken word, thought, and deed got backed away, got backed up, got backfired, got locked away, got blocked by the ancestors and the angels. Divination is here. Somebody is really ascending beautifully. Divine feminine. Yeah, somebody wanted to mess that up. Somebody's angry because they have a series of bad choices and the universe keeps showing them that they need to heal and let something go. And so now the universe is saying, okay, now we're going to make you see it. We're going to make you feel it in real life. Since you didn't want to respect the spirit realm, we're going to make you feel it in real life. Somebody could be going to court for a child. That's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. That is a specific download. Somebody was too busy trying to tear up somebody else's life while their life was falling apart. Child spirit says they could be watching this video. Somebody tried to do this to a sweetheart. Ladies and gentlemen, my recommendation is to find you something good to do. If you're being told by the universe that you need to heal, your happiness is your own responsibility. Look, I can make it up. And then you ended up in the Ace of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like this concludes this reading. Do we really need to even go any further? That would be beating a dead horse. And why? There's so much more to do. We got stuff to do. Listen, get to it, collective. I love y'all, okay? This does conclude this reading. I was supposed to go live. I would have loved to have talked to y'all in real life, but this will premiere so I can still kind of interact. But it's time for us to really like see this thing through now that all these people are getting what they manifested in the spirit, now in the physical. Now it's getting real. It's been getting real. The red flags have been there. So we're just being guided to continue moving forward and seeing things through as we need to see them. And that's just what it is. I love y'all. I really do. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace be with you.